So I just did one of the hardest parts of a long distance hike, and that is I just quit my job. So for those of you who are new to this channel, let me just introduce myself. My name is Tyler. My trail name is The Forester, and I did the AT and the Pacific Crest Trail in the 90s when I was in my 20s. And now things have aligned to where I can do the Continental Divide Trail, which has always been a goal of mine, and I'm in my 50s. I'm only 51. But I knew it was time to do it. You can't wait forever on something that you've just know that you're bound to do, that you've drawn to do, whatever word you want to use, but it's just something that I know and I've known for a long time that I'm going to do. So there it is. I quit my job. One of the things I wanted to talk about, so that if you're planning on following this hike, you understand a little bit about it. I have already started the Continental Divide Trail, and I started it before my daughter was born in December of 2005. She was born in January. In fact, she just turned 17 years old. So anyway, yeah, my wife was pregnant when I went out, and I did 100 miles from the border up to Silver City. And it was a great hike. It was in December, so I didn't have to deal with the heat as much. It got cold at night. We did have some interesting encounters. We were dropped in on by a helicopter, a border patrol helicopter. That was just crazy. He wasn't even aware of the Continental Divide Trail at the time. This was 2005. Not many people were hiking it back then. Anyway, so I'm going to throw some pictures from that section in on this video to kind of break it up and make it easier to watch. So after that, my plan was I'm going to section hike this bad boy. And for those of you who have kids, you can probably guess how far I got with that plan, especially because the section after Silver City, the CDT gets really remote. So the logistics of trying to do a section hike were just harder than just coming out here and through hiking it. I mean, imagine first flying out there and then having to shuttle your car and all this during a week's vacation or 2 weeks vacation. I started to realize that no, it makes more sense to through hike it, and it's more fun anyway. Yeah, after my daughter was born, I had a son about 15 months later. And I had some friends get on the CDT that year, 2007, I think, yeah, 7. And it killed me to not be able to get out there with them. But with an infant and a daughter less than 2 years old, it was not going to happen. And I'm a forester. That's my profession. Never made a lot of money doing that. So there you have it. That crushed it right there. But it wasn't all bad. We did some hiking when my kids were young. Nice backpacked. I finished the Ouachita Trail during a time that I lived in Arkansas. I don't know where the dogs went. I'll have one dog here with me. Flip it around for you. That's Patsy. She's a good girl. And she's wondering where Diesel is too, just like I am. But where she's looking is probably where he's at. Anyway, so where was I? So yeah, my kids are growing up. I'm still backpacking, but I'm not into backpacking like I was at one time. And I was going out every once in a while, but maybe only once or twice a year. And I wasn't buying any new gear. To me, that was a huge change when I started buying new gear. But as I saw the window approaching for the CDT, I figured I better, number one, get in shape. And I quit drinking as part of that. And number two, start getting familiar with what's out there with gear and what the kids are doing. I did not even use a smartphone when I hiked the AT and the PCT. They weren't around. And I carried disposable cameras. And so I had a lot to learn about modern thru hiking. Which turns out is pretty damn cool, with apps like Guthook, Avenza maps, and different things that a forester's familiar with anyway, maps and mapping software. But Guthook, far out now, that was a big advance right there, having all that information at your fingertips. We used to carry books, kids, books, paper books. Anyway, so I'm going to turn around here because I've gotten to my property line. And that's another thing. I'm going to miss this place this summer. I've never been away from it quite that long. Come on. So that brings us up to the last couple years. I hiked the long trail. I split it into two. Last summer I finished it up. And I guess my first big backpacking trip, I drove up to the Adirondacks and did the Cranberry 50 as my back into long distance stuff hike. That was great. So I feel pretty comfortable with my skill set. Certainly have enough experience working in the woods and hiking to pull this hike off. Physically, it's going to be different than when I was in my 20s. I know that, and that's why I'm trying to get in shape. The trail is the only thing that really gets you in shape. But I think that's about all I really needed to cover. So since you've seen the pictures now of what I did in 2005, just talk a little bit more about that. We got a ride. I stayed with the Down to Earth School, stayed at the Down to Earth School, which was a bus driver on a fire detail, owned that school. And so I had mentioned something about maybe hitting him up when I was trying to do the CDT, and so he agreed to shuttle us. And neither one of us knew where we were going into that desert, trying to find the monument at the southern border. If there was a monument at that time, I'm not really sure. But we drove way out in the desert, and all of you that are thinking about doing it this year are going to have this drive where you just realize, wow, we really are in the middle of nowhere. And And he didn't have any water in his van or anything, so I finally just got him to let us off in the desert. I think we were really close to the border, but again, I didn't have GPS or anything. I was using map and compass, and we found our way out. And we did find the trail several times, but we were by no means hiking on a trail. For most of the time, we were either bushwhacking or just walking across the desert or road walking. So it was fun. It was a fun section, and I did it with two friends, Ace and Mike. And I am not going to redo it because to me that was part of my trip, and there's no need. I've got plenty of desert hiking in New Mexico ahead of me. Do not need to go back and do that part. So you all enjoy that. And I will see you in Silver City or north of there. So I do plan on doing the Gila alternative, and I doubt that I'll get the whole trail done in one season. Not really a goal of mine. I'm planning on splitting it, and my goal is to get to Yellowstone in the first summer. So that's it. My stated goal: Silver City to Yellowstone. Call it a lash, call it a through hike, call it whatever you want to call it. But that's it. It's about 2,000 miles, so it's as long as the AT. And I know I said I was going to turn around earlier. This time I'm really going to turn around. Okay. So, anyway, my face is healing. If you saw my last video, I went on a day hike last weekend and my face was all scratched up, but it's much better. Still didn't fix my face. Still not beautiful. But so that's it, y'all. This is a CDT announcement. That's all it is. Just wanted to say I'm getting on trail. And if you want to follow, subscribe to this channel, please. I'd like to have more subscribers. I've been YouTubing since 2020. I'm a pandemic YouTuber. Started doing it then, and I have found that it doesn't feel like work to me, so I've just kept doing it. I don't really agonize over these videos, guys. I put music on some of them, and some I don't. But you can follow or not. I hope that I have some interaction with people while I'm on the CDT. It'll be nice to feel like there's actually people watching the videos. So please comment. Do that thumbs up deal on there. Just let me know, man. I'll put more effort into it the more I feel like people are getting something out of it, I guess. That's it, guys. Check it out. CDT 2023. Peace out.